Now on to the queen. Add a new collection, call it queen. We are going to duplicate the king. Press M to move it to queen. That's the other way to do it. Unselect the king. We don't need that cross cut anymore. Let's move this over. So the queen is very similar. In fact, it's almost the exact same design, except the very top is a little bit different. I think it's ever so slightly smaller, but you don't have to go too crazy. I'll make it just a little bit smaller. Just like that. Save. We're going to redo the top. We're going to do that same thing. We go to X-ray view, press B, select the top, hit F to remove it, hit E to extrude, and we'll scale this in right here. Now to achieve this trick, these little edges right here is going to be a little bit trickier. You can actually do whatever you want for the queen's crown. Now there are a lot of different ways that queen's crowns are done in chess pieces. If you go online, there's several different versions of this. But I kind of like the way these look like little grooves cut into the top here. In fact, they look like cylinders that have been cut into there, which gives me the idea of using a cylinder. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick. I'm going to go to Add, Mesh, Cylinder. 16 is just fine. Move that up top here. Go Tab to go to Edit Mode. We're going to use this to actually cut those little grooves out of the side. Scale it up like that. Go to Top View. We're going to move it. Make sure you're in Edit Mode. Move it over to the side right here. Rotate it about, let's do 45 degrees, like so. Move it down so it kind of overlaps over the object. There we go. How about just like that? Scale it up a little bit. There we go. You also notice it kind of dips in a little bit. Let's do that too. So let's reduce our crease a little bit. Extrude inward. Have it drop down a little like that. We'll crease that. There we go. I kind of like that look. Now, if you rotate this object, you notice it rotates around the center of that object. You can actually adjust this up here. So it rotates either the bounding box center, which is the center of the object, an active element, a median point, or your cursor itself, depending on where the object actually is. So now we're going to take this here, that cylinder, Control D to duplicate, rotate it, and we'll rotate it about 90 degrees. Duplicate it again, rotate it to 180. Duplicate it again, rotate it to 270. Now we've got 4 of them, all kind of arranged like so. Now you can select all of them, do Control D to duplicate them, rotate them again. I think we could do 120, duplicate it again, 150 rotation. Hopefully that made some sense. There is some easier ways to do this, but that's kind of a fun way. But these things should all be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, about 30 degrees off. And make sure none of them are actually overlapping at all. Now let's select all of these. We're going to combine all of these cylinders into one object by hitting Control J. Now they're all one object. Go to Tab. Look at that. They're all one object. Now we're going to select our queen. Queen crown negative. That's how I'm going to call it. Queen body. Add a boolean object crown negative. And there we go. Nice little grooves cut out of there. There's also a little sphere in there. We can add that with a mesh UV sphere, like so. queen sphere. Add modifier, boolean, queen sphere. Have that be a union, like so. So both objects are combined. And there we go. There's our queen. And if we don't like the grooves the way it looks, we can actually just go here into the negative here and just kind of move it up a little bit. There we go. Or we can just go into here, edit this tiny bit, get it to however we want it to look, and adjust it. I think I like it a little bit more dramatic. Now there's some better ways to do this, but this is just a quick and dirty way to do it. Sometimes when you're modeling, you just want something done very quickly, very simply. You don't want to muck about with anything fancy. And there we are. The queen is done.